Hello, hello everybody, and welcome to Crafty Hour number 60. This was a fun hunky-dory kit to kind of play with, but I'm going to give you a disclaimer. Deanna's the queen of hunky-dory. That's all there is to it. I have a little puppy. It's trying to help me here. So we're going to do 3 cards, and 2 of them are going to kind of be standard size, and then the third one will be kind of a larger size. And I told you guys to have, I showed you the die that I had used. If you don't have that die, it's fine. You can just cut a square. You can use the nesting die that Deanna used. You can really use anything you want, guys. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, you're going to have to go to the living room. Go. All right, so we're going to do 3 cards. One of them, we're going to do kind of this is an A2 card. I find sometimes the challenge with hunky-dory is hunky-dory's big. And these kits are great because they have everything in them that you need to make cards, and they're super affordable. In the US, they're only $21. And I know some of the hunky-dory packs start getting up to $55, $60, and that's just for the toppers. And these were great. Where is mine? Where is mine? Where's mine? Spent half my day saying, where's mine? These were great because they had everything you needed in them. They had the toppers, your cut-aparts, your inserts, your pattern papers. They had a little bit of everything. So it is pretty much a complete card kit in a pack for only $21. Okay, so we are going to do 3 cards. And we've got one that's going to be an easel, little easel stopper card. Little easel stopper. We're going to do one that's kind of a fun fold because I wanted to take advantage of that paper, that kind of lighter tone-on-tone paper. I want to take advantage of that, and then just a larger hunky-dory style card. So that's what we're going to kind of play with tonight. So let's get started with the first card. I had on your list for you guys to have white cardstock. Always have plenty of white cardstock on hand because you just never know when you're going to... I know, right, Kathy? Isn't it a great concept? It's a new concept for them, and I'm really enjoying it because it's like all in a complete kit, and I can't remember if there's more of them coming down the road or not, but I hope there is. Oh, grocery shopping in the rain. Oof. Okay, so the first one we're going to do, it's going to be a, like a little easel card. So it is A2 in size once it closes. And sometimes that's the challenge with hunky-dory is it's not A2. It's a huge size card. So we're going to make it A2. And so you're going to open it. So the cardstock I cut, this is an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And then I just cut it in half this way. So you're going to do 11 by 4 1/4. 11 by 4 1/4. And evidently Coco thinks it's squeaky time. I told her it was quiet hour. So we're going to cut our white cardstock just in half. And I cut mine in half, so this is my scrap from my other half. Excuse me. Hello, everybody. Sorry. The trees, it is beautiful here today. It is 74 degrees, but the pear trees in our yard are budding, and I made the mistake, I think, of opening the back door to let a little fresh air in, and I think I let all that pollen in. Okay, so we're going to cut it 4 1/4, 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so that's our cut. Then we're going to go and score it. We're going to score it at, we're going to score it at 2 inches. 2 inches. And then we're going to score it again at 5 1/2. 5 1/2. Yeah, I am so ready for some nice weather. I am done with this cold stuff. January and February was horrible. Oh my gosh, was it bad. Okay, so we've got our piece. And what we're going to do first is we're just going to fold it in half. So that was our 5 1/2 score line. and just take your Teflon and fold it. And then this little 2-inch is going to be your popper that kind of pops it like a little easel. So we're just going to fold that guy back. So when you have your card folded, it's going to look like a giant J. Giant J. Yes, Coco was instructed it's quiet hour. I think Dad finally got her to lay down. She said, I'm a schnauzer. You don't tell me what to do. I do what I want. Okay, so then when our card goes up, it's going to go up like this. This will be our card. Okay, and then we'll have a panel on here. Okay, all right, so we're going to grab a piece of gold cardstock and we're going to cut it 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to do my trick where I don't cut all the way through it, so I save my cardstock. So we're going to go 4 1/8. It's 2 little tick marks over. And we're going to go down to 5 3/8. Okay, 5 3/8. Then I'm going to flip it, go to 5 3/8. And then I'm going to slice to the 4 1/8. And then that way you can cut your cardstock without cutting all the way through it and not have any other scraps. Okay, now we are not going to gut this because when we put it on the card, it is going to pop up like an easel. So this is the back side of that gold. So we don't want to gut it. Otherwise, we're going to see a big funny hole there. So don't gut it like we normally do. So we'll just sit that to the side. That's our gold. Then in our pack of paper, we're going to look for the blue stripe. That one right there. I really liked the blue stripe. I thought that one was pretty. On the back side, it's got purple. If you want to use purple, go for it. We're going to use the blue side. And to me, I don't know why, but I like my stripes going side to side. I know some people have a preference of up and down. I like to do them kind of side by side, and kind of the way that we're doing this piece, it looked better to have the stripes side by side. So let's put your trimmer or your paper in your trimmer so it's side by side, and we're going to do 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to fit perfectly in that gold. Okay, so I'm going to flip it to do my trick. I put it over to 5 1/4. Then I just slice it down to 4. And then this way you're saving your most pieces. And then that piece should mat perfectly right like that. And that looks great. And you can go ahead and glue that piece down. Now, I felt that this paper was a little bit thinner, so I used my dry adhesive instead of my white adhesive to glue these papers down, because I didn't want to see my, you know, sometimes you see your adhesive zigzags and your adhesive runs. I didn't want to do that, so I'm using just my runner, just my dry adhesive. Okay, and then we're just going to stick that guy down. So you're going to have a little bit of gold all the way around the outside edges. A little bit of gold. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our card base back in so we don't oops and do something we shouldn't. So what we're going to do is this guy here is going to be matted. So you're going to have white all the way around the edges. But we only want it to be glued right here. Right here is the portion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use score tape because score tape is really strong, and make sure you come in a little bit, and I'm going to put score tape there. And then that way I know it is a movable piece, it's an interactive piece, and I know that it's not going to come apart or fall apart on me. I'm sure Coco is pouting now. Maybe we'll take her for WALK after. Okay, so we're going to pull those off. And when we glue it down, make sure you only have it glued down to that bottom portion. Okay, and then you're going to have equal white all the way around. And I got to stand up above it so I can kind of look down and make sure we are centered. Okay, just like that. And there you go. A quick, easy kind of easel card. Okay, how are you guys doing? Got it? Quick, easy easel card. Easy easel. Easy, easy. Okay, now we have to go to our punch outs. And we're looking for the rectangular one that has the trees and stuff on it. I think it has a blue background. This one right here. And we're going to punch this one out. So we're going to use this one right here. And then we're also going to use the boots. I love the little boots. They're not wellies, not the little rain boots. They're kind of more of a garden boot. And then the especially for you, right underneath it. So we're going to use all those pieces. I love when they put frames around these. So these kind of have some frames around it. We're going to punch this out and we're going to use both pieces. And what we're going to do is kind of build a layer with this. So we're going to glue this flat. Let me get that off my measurements for you guys. And then we are going to pop this piece. Now, you can kind of see it. This piece is flat. And then this outer frame is popped to kind of give it some dimension. What you could totally do too is put some acetate on here and put some Ghibli bits in there and make that a shaker card. It would make it a perfect shaker card. Okay? And when I did this, you'll notice I kind of offset it. So we are up. So we have equal here and equal here. So we're kind of up to the corner. And then we'll layer those boots on there. So to do that, what I want to do first is make sure I have my frame kind of where I want my frame. And I found this is the easiest way to do it. So there's my frame. I'm going to put my adhesive. I'll just use my runner because it's laying in front of me and it's fast. You can use your liquid if you got it. And what I did is I put my frame down to make sure it's equal all the way around. And then I put this guy in the center. And then that gives me my positioning. I know it's exactly where I want it to be. Okay? And then we're going to put foam strips on the back of this guy and we're going to pop them. And I need to go buy me some more foam strips. I love these strips by Scrapbook Adhesive. They are perfect foam strips. You don't have to cut them. They're great for shaker cards. They are already in these strips. They come in black and they come in white. This is the skinniest width, but they also have them in a little bit wider too. A little bit wider. Not going to use as many as I normally do because I'm about out and I want to have enough for tonight's project. Okay, how's everybody doing? Are we doing good? I wanted to kind of do some quick, easy cards and show you that Hunkydory can be simple. I know sometimes people are a little intimidated by Hunkydory because of all the pieces and all the larger sizes. So that's why I kind of wanted to try to stick with some A2 cards to kind of show you guys that it doesn't always have to be big. But I am going to, like I said, Deanna is the queen of Hunkydory. So she does beautiful, she's been doing them for years. Beautiful classes, beautiful cards with the Hunkydory stuff. So she shows you great ways how to do layers. Okay, so there's that guy. Then we're going to put this guy, the boots, right here on the corner. And I kind of wanted to come up a little bit to leave room for some gems. And I'm just going to glue it right here to the frame. Just going to glue it on there. And then that gives me a little bit of time to do a little bit of wiggle room to make sure it's where I want it. And again, this camera is in the way, so I don't know why I can't look down and see it. Okay, so that's there. And then the especially for you is going to go right on there. Right? Exactly. What the heck did we do before these foam strips? We cut them and we had a gooey, nasty flippin' mess all over our scissors is what we did. And then we inhaled lots of undo while we tried cleaning our scissors. Crazy. I love the foam strips. Okay, so there is a quick, easy using just those frames. And like I said, if you wanted to turn this into a shaker card, that would be adorable too, because we inlaid or recessed that in there and then we popped the frame out and then the pieces. So then the last thing is to add some little bling. You gotta have some little gems or bling. I'm just using the pink fresh ones. These are the little gold ones. I might be about out of the little guys. And I know Deanna used the Spellbinders ones, which are great too because they're just a peel and stick. So they're really easy also. So I'm just going to put 3. What I did is I put a medium one at the tip and then a baby one on each side of it. But the question is, do I have any baby ones left? Oh, I see one. Need them to flip over. Why is it they always want to flip on the other side? Okay, so I just did a medium one and then 2 smalls, just to kind of stack them right there in the corner. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing up at the top because it's just kind of hugging. It's just hugging the corner there. Evidently, I need to use more bigger sizes. And I'm putting my gems back in because if I don't put my gems back in, I end up spilling them all over my table. All right, so, oh, we gotta do the inside still. Okay, nice. Okay, so then on the inside, we're gonna open it up. We gotta have our little pop-up, our little pop piece. So I'm gonna let those dry for a second. We need to cut a piece of gold that is gonna be 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. And I wonder if I have a piece of scrap laying here that's that size. Oh no, that would be too easy, right? Oop, that one will work. Okay, so we also need to go into our paper and we're gonna find the piece of paper that's kind of, it is your card inserts. So these were really cute because they go right inside your cards, and I'm gonna use this little strip right there along the bottom. Okay, so that is the pattern flowers. And so these are nice because it kind of has that little tone on tone, just gives it a little something. So I'm going to cut my square out first. And this is the one that has the little flowers on it. And I ended up cutting it 4 by 1 1/4. Or sorry, 1 1/2. 4 by 1 1/2. So there's my 1 1/2. You can use that for something else. I was going to put it on the back side of the card, but then I thought, well, nobody's going to see that. That's kind of silly. Okay, so 1 1/2, and then we're going to do by 4, which I'm going to use my other trimmer, because if I try cutting that little piece off with my other trimmer, it's just going to booger it up. Okay, and then we're just going to cut our gold, which you can eyeball it. Actually, I think I'm just going to put it on there and eyeball it. We're just going to cut our gold, but I cut it 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, this adhesive, I grab and use it upside down every time. I need to put a dot on top of it, where the top is. Okay, I'm just matting that piece on there. Just gonna eyeball it. And we'll see if she fits in there, and she does. And then I'm just gonna put foam tape on the back of it. That way it works like a little kickstand. And there we go. And there's card number 1 with our little kickstand. Beautiful. And it's A2, so it will fit in your standard size envelopes. Okay, card number 2. We're going to kind of do an opening, another little opening card. And this one is a different size also. Look at this. I seem to have scraps in the right size. Everything, it's just laying here. So this one, we need to cut it 8.5 by 5. 8.5 by 5. I kind of went short because I thought it looked funny being really tall. So I kind of shortened it a little bit, but didn't quite make it squared. So it'll still fit in a standard size envelope. Okay, so let's see. We're 8.5 by 5. Huh, I don't know how that happened. And then we're going to score it 2 times. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. Make sure you have your score, not your cutter. 4 1/4. So that's in half. And then 6 3/8. Ooh, I don't know that I'm going to figure out 6 3/8 on my trimmer. So I'm going to do it old school. Oh, cute. Leave the top open for a gift card. Here we go. I'm going to do old school because my trimmer doesn't have that math. I folded my card in half. I'm just back folding it. We're going old school. Anybody see where my bone folder went? There it is. Easy math. Fold it in half. Okay, so there we have that. So now we're going to cover this with gold cardstock here and gold cardstock here. And then we're going to use that kind of lighter tone paper. I really like the lighter tone paper. It looks great for the inside of your cards and also as backgrounds because then it's not taking away from the focal point, but you still have a little bit of that on there. So it's really nice. So our gold piece that we need is going to be 4 1/8 by 4 7/8. We got some weird measurements here. I know. And I think my scrap might already be 4 1/8. It is 4 1/8. Okay, so we're going to go 4 7/8. When it comes to our Meries are like gold, right? Gold. Okay, that fits in there like that. We got a little bit of white on there, so that one's good. Oh, Deanna's being all cute, 2 1/8. Yep, that makes sense. It's been a long day. Been a long day. Whew. Can't even. All right, we need one more piece of gold. That is going to be 2 by 4 7/8. Two. I'm just going to slice it because I don't feel like thinking. 2 and then 4 7/8. And then that should fit right on there with a little bit of white around it. Just like that. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. So we got our 2 pieces of gold. Oh, it's been a long year. I know, right? long year. I'm ready to sit on a beach, but then I know I'll come back to even more chaotic. So I'll go to Seattle instead. Ugh. Okay, there's our 2 gold matte pieces. We got those down. And I just left this white. Okay, there's those 2 pieces. Now we're going to look for that piece of paper that had the little cottages on it. This one right here. So I want to use this portion for the inside, and then the next piece, the tall tree, will go on the outside. Okay, so when we do this, we're going to put it in our trimmer upside down. That way we can make sure we get the house. So you're going to put your house upside down. House is on its head. And we're going to cut it at 4 inches wide. And let me measure this. Measure twice, cut once, because you know how we always do it wrong. Yes, 4 inches. So the house is 4 inches wide. And then we're going to flip the house again. And we want to leave the house on. We're cutting the sky off. And we're going to do it at 4 3/4. So this piece will fit right in here on top of your gold. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down now. Okay, and then we're going to grab our tree, and I wanted to use this piece right here. I want to use the taller tree so we'll see it. So you're going to put the tree upside down. So we're putting the tree upside down, and we're going to cut it 1 7/8. 1 7/8. And then you can save that tree for something later. You're going to flip your tree and do 4 3/4. So we're just cutting off the tip top of that tree. And then we can put that on the gold also. Okay, and then their card will kind of Z-fold down. Look how pretty that paper is. Isn't that pretty? I didn't want to cover it up. I kind of wanted to make it a focal point. And you can still put your salutations here. You can put your salutations at the top. But I really loved how it's kind of a light watercolor of that paper. Okay, now we're going to look for our cottage. And the cottage is on this sheet. So we're going to punch out the cottage. We're going to use the frame and the centerpiece. So we're going to use both of those. And again, we're going to kind of layer them on top of each other. Okay. And then we're looking for this little guy here. It says bloom where you are planted. If you want to put a different salutations, or if you want to leave it blank because maybe you don't know what the card's going to be or who you're given to yet, you can leave that blank. But I put the bloom where you're planted. And that was on this piece. And again, I don't know why, but this was my favorite piece in the whole entire kit, and I didn't use it. I don't know why. I loved the colors. I loved the shape. It's the whole save your favorite pieces. I don't know. Okay, so this one we're going to do a little different. Again, we're going to kind of pop it. So this piece is going to be flat, but when we do it flat, you want it just on that wing. And then this piece we're going to pop, but we're just going to pop it right here. Oh, a good housewarming card. Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my frame and figure out where I want it again. I want my frame kind of in the center. I want it in the center. And I'm going to put my adhesive right there, right here on this wing, because that's where this guy, I'm then going to drop it in there, drop it in and lift her out. And then there's our position for that one. Okay, then we're going to flip this and put foam tape on this side and just across the top a little bit. You don't want to get over too far or it will show. Okay, make sure we got over far enough. Yeah, we did. Okay, then we're just going to peel that and pop it. So it's popped above that piece. Then when I did this, this piece was kind of flapping and it wasn't lifted above the other piece. And I'm like, how can I get it to lift without it flapping? And I found by putting a pop dot right here on the edge and then putting this guy on top, it lifts it up. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. So what it's going to do is we're going to glue that sentiment to the frame, and then it's going to pop this edge up also. So by gluing it, it pulls it up, and then that pop dot lifts it. Does that make sense? And then hopefully yours is straighter than mine. And there's that. Seriously, not doing very straight tonight, am I? Okay, and then I sprinkled some gems again, and this time I did 3 different sizes. I just kind of did the 1, 2, 3. I love the inverted stuff. The inverted just screams, put a gem in me. So then I did like a small, medium, large. And I just sprinkled them. We might get a small, medium, and medium. There's one. And then I kind of am going to repeat the same thing down in the bottom corner. I always try to do them in 3s and then repeat whatever I do in the bottom corner, kind of repeat in the top corner. Perfect. I know, right? The colors are just so soft. They're really, really nice. So they're great for inserts, but these are also great for your backgrounds. Okay, and there we have another quick, easy card, a little bit smaller than A2, so it will fit in your standard size envelopes. Okay, all right, the last one, we're gonna do kind of a traditional hunky-dory size. We're going big. We're going big. So you're going to need a piece of paper that is 11 by 5.5. Uh-oh, I might have to run and grab a piece of white paper. What the heck? Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I will be right back. I got to grab a piece of white cardstock. right, too funny. Okay, we've got our white piece cardstock, and we're gonna make a big card. We're going big this time, because that's kind of the traditional hunky-dory. 11 inches, and we're gonna go 5.5. 5.5 by 11. Okay, 5.5 by 11. And then we're gonna flip it and score at 5.5. So we're making a square card. 5.5, square card. I need to replace my blades. Okay, we got our square card. And then next thing we're gonna do is our gold. Gotta have our gold frame. So we're gonna cut that 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Five 3/8 by 5 3/8. And I wrote gut it this time because the last couple classes, I forgot to cut my die cuts out of the center. So this time I made a note. I'm going to cut the frame out. The frame I'm using is this one. That is the Lacy Squares from Spellbinders. Both stores have it. There's also a Lacy Circle that is cute that we've used, I think, in the last class. I think I used Lacy Circle in the last Crafty Hour. So that's the one I did. You can use whatever you want in a nesting die. It doesn't matter. This one on the outer edge is 4 1/4. But basically what you want is one that the bicycle fits on. You can do smaller, larger, use whatever you have. But I loved how big and voluptuous that was. Okay. So I'm going to cut this guy out of the center. We're going to gut it. And I'll be right back because my die cutter is on the floor. Oh, and Deanna says she is using this die in the 3D spring card class, which we have registration open for that right now. Probably cut it off next week so Deanna can get those kits shipped out to us in time. But, and like I said, Deanna is the queen of hunky-dory. So the 3D topper ones are my favorite. It's the ones you play kind of matchmaker with. And that class is all 3D toppers. So if you guys haven't signed up for it yet, make sure to get signed up for that one. The cards are gorgeous and they're all 3D toppers. Okay, we're going to glue this guy down. And I'm putting my fold at the top. You guys can put your fold at the side. But I find with the big cards, they kind of sit better when you put the fold at the top. Oh, Deanna is she says kits are being made now. She only has a few spots left. Yeah, she's probably kidding right this instant. Or is she, no, I wasn't say, or is she getting her nails done? But she can't type if she's doing that, so. Okay, so there's that piece. Then we're going to look in our paper pack for the wood grain. It is the back of this one right here. I didn't know this, so I didn't use this, not know this. I didn't do this. So we're going to use the back side of this one, and we're going to use the wood size, and we're going to cut it 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. I love wood grain. I cannot get enough wood grain. Anytime that there's a wood grain opportunity to use, I am all over it. All over it. Okay, so then we'll put that down and we'll have a little bit of gold all the way around the outside. And like I said, I thought this paper was a little bit thinner, so I'm just using my runner so I don't have my adhesive skid marks. We're just going to fasten that guy down. Okay, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. Okay, then we're going to look for the green plaid. Green plaid. Gosh, I keep losing stuff. Ha! It's right here to my side. It's some good wood. That's some good wood. Here's the plaid we're using. It has flowers on the back side, and then your green plaid on the front. And we're going to cut it 5 1/4 by 3. 5 1/4 by 3. Put it in. I'll cut my 3 first, and I'm using a scrap because this was left over from my other, and then we're going to flip it and do it 5 1/4. So same size as the wood, same size as the wood. Then we're going to take our scraps, and you want to find a scrap that is the same length, This is a great way to use up all those scrap pieces. That one might be too small. Nah, we'll use it. What we're going to do is put the trick where we put a little at the top, little at the bottom. So I'm just going to cut this right in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ah, right, Teresa? She knew I was going to use the wood grain. I love the wood grain. Love it. I was like, do I sacrifice the backside of the other thing? And I'm like, yep, I do. Okay, so we've got our pieces. I found when I'm doing my pieces, it is easiest to take my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put it right along the bottom, right along there, and then I am just going to sit it right on top of my gold and try to make it straight-ish. Straight-ish. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing to the other side. And put that on there. And again, try to make it straight-ish. Right, Joanne? Wood grains just make great backgrounds, don't they? They give it a little something, something. They're subtle, not too much on it. Sometimes I think wood grain is underrated, right? Underrated. Okay, so now we've got that piece. We've got a little scrap at the top, little scrap at the bottom. This is a perfect way to use your scraps up. We're going to glue it right in the center. So it is going to cover the wood grain, and you'll still see gold on the left, and you'll still see gold on the right. Okay, then we're going to find our little bicycle, and we're going to put our bicycle on here. And then whatever salutations, I found this little one, it said, "To someone wonderful." And that's just going to go flat on here. Whew, we're doing good on time. I thought we were going to run out. Over ambitious sometimes doing 3, but we're going to do that. And then I'm going to put foam on the back of this one, but do not expose it yet. Do not expose it yet. So I originally had this card done, and that guy's going to get foam taped right there. And I'm staring at it, and I'm like, gosh, it just looks too plain. It looks like it needs something else. And it needs what this pack was, you're going to look for this piece of paper. And I thought what this pack is missing is ephemera. There is no ephemera in this pack. And I love to tuck things behind and have things peeking out. And when there's not ephemera, I'm challenged sometimes. So I kept staring at this card and staring at this card and staring at this card. And if you know me, I am not a fuzzy cutter. So please don't cuss me. But I fuzzy cut because I really felt like we needed something tucked in and something put in and behind and around that piece. So I grabbed this sheet and I fuzzy cut these pieces out. And that's what I put behind there. So I'm just going to chunk them out really quick, the ones that I'm going to use. So the two medium-sized ones, we're going to fuzzy cut. So this one here, and then this pot here. And I cut the white off. I know it has that little white line there, but I cut the white line off. For some reason, I don't know, it could be a preference to everybody. I don't like ephemera that has white edges on it. I feels like it has to be inked or something needs to be added to it. And that might be why in my early stages of card making and scrapbooking and junk journaling and mixed media, that I was obsessed with brown ink because everything got browned because I did not like that clean white edge. And it could just totally be me. It's just a preference. But yeah, I don't know why. So anyways, we're going to quickly fuzzy cut this. I am not paying any mind or matter to this because it's just poking out. It's just plain peekaboo. A majority of this you're not even going to see. Okay. So we're just cutting around the leaves. And this bottom part, not even going to see it. So just chunk it off. So we got that there. Like I said, don't cuss me. I am not a fuzzy cutter myself. But look at the difference it made once we added those in there. It really, and we don't need this anymore. It just really needed something. And I love to cluster and I love to add those pieces. And I felt like this was missing it. And I know it's not a hunky-dory style. Hunky-dory is not about clusters. It's all about frames and geometric. But I feel like I am challenged with just geometric shapes. I don't know why. So we're going to do something a little different and non-hunky-dory tradition. And Kelly, of course, I wondered if you were there, Kelly. Kelly is there fuzzy cutting for fun. She is my fuzzy cutting girl. I was joking with her last time she was in. I told her I'm going to send her home with all of my pads that need fuzzy cut for her to cut them for me. But we're just kind of wiggling your scissors. Now, one thing that helps on fuzzy cutting is if you notice, I'm leaving my scissors the same way and I am wiggling the paper. You're going to get cleaner edges, cleaner curves. It is going to be easier to cut if you wiggle your paper, not your scissors. Also, a good pair of scissors also makes a world of difference. A good pair of scissors, good sharp scissors, that will make a world of difference. So the first one I did, this one here, he gets peekabooed up there. I just kind of put him in the corner. Put baby in the corner. I just kind of peekabooed him so you couldn't see the things hanging out or any of those pieces. And I think that looks perfect there. I kind of, if you notice, I kind of bent the edges a little bit. I kind of fluffed it. I'm just going to put some liquid glue there. Hold that piece down. There we go. Right, Star? I hear that a lot. While you're watching TV, fuzzy cutting is good. I guess you could do it too while you're on a plane because you can take certain scissors on the plane. I have not tried it. I'm always thinking I'll be the one person they pull out a line. And then everybody behind me is rolling their eyes because I didn't follow the rules. But I know a lot of people, I think Deanna has too, has taken scissors on a plane. I try not to be the person that causes any problems when it comes to getting on a plane or getting through security. I'm the one that's halfway undressed with everything in my hands ready to put in my bin when the bin gets to me. Not the people that start undressing when it gets to them. Be ready. Be ready. Okay. There we go. So we're going to have some poking out the top, poking out the bottom, and it's just where I like it. So now we're going to stick that down. Oh, Deanna says she also takes the TSA rules with her printed out to challenge them. Yes, that's when they call security and they get the handcuffs out to me. Totally. Yep. And I missed my flight because I was arguing and being disgruntled. So I know if Deanna misses her flight, it's because she was arguing with the TSA agents. Okay, some more flowers. All I did was I just kind of kept cutting. I just kept cutting these green pieces and some little flower pieces, and I just kept tucking them in and around and filling areas. And it added, right, Star? It just added a little bit more. It needed a little bit more color. It needed a little bit more behind it. And it just is about the cluster. Just adding some leaves, adding a cluster. And at this point, there was no method to my madness. I was like, oh, okay, we got that. Well, we need a little bit of green coming down here. We need a little green going across there. And I just kind of kept cutting the pieces and then tucking them. Oh my gosh, she takes her guillotine trimmer too. The girl does not relax, I'm telling you. I thought I didn't relax, but now I'm thinking... living on the edge, she is. I also usually fly Southwest, so there's barely enough room to breathe, let alone craft in those seats. But now that Southwest has changed their rules, might be looking at some new airlines. I gotta pay for my luggage anyways, I might as well be more comfortable instead of squeezed in like a sardine. Okay, cutting more green. Cutting more green. Yeah, I don't know. Evidently, Deanna's going to have to post her... Where did I put this green one? Did I put them up there? Did I put them down there? I put them down there. You're going to have to download the file, Deanna, so everybody can print it off. Take it with them. Okay, there. So we're going to put a little green there. And then I feel like we need a little bit more green up here. And then we need a little bit more green over here. So there's a pot of green here. And I know normally these guys you're supposed to play matchmaker with and stack them on top of each other. And it felt like this paper was very thin. I didn't think Pop Dots would work very good on here and popping the layers like we normally do with Hunkydory. So then I'm like, well, it needs to probably be backed in cardstock. And then if I'm going to back it in cardstock and I'm going to have to fuzzy cut them twice, I just decided to do this instead. So we're just kind of peekabooing and putting them in behind. So this guy, do I want him up here? Or I put him over here? Do I have some more greenery? I do have another. Okay, I'm going to put him at the top because I need a little bit more green at the top. And this is where I just kept cutting flowers. Oh, I am going to run out of time now. I just kept cutting flowers. I kept cutting greenery and kind of peekabooing them here and there. And then even these flowers here, like I needed a little bit more color. So these guys are really pretty. So we're going to cut those out. I put a little bit of yellow up there. And okay, so if you guys are new to joining Crafty Hour, make sure you are in our private Facebook group that is called Crafty Hour Creations. It is our group where you guys can post your photos of your versions of your cards, and then there are tons of leftovers and extras that we want you guys to use up and make your own cards too, and then post those over there and share to the group. It is always great to see your guys' interpretation. It is always great to see what you've done with the kit, what you've done with your extra cards and stuff. So make sure you join that. It is Crafty Hour Creations Facebook group, and it will ask you a question. And that question is just kind of what we call our spam filter. It's going to ask you what your home store is. We just want to make sure you're a real human and not a spammer. So just answer that question and then post all your creations over there. So we want to see what you guys come up with and see what you create also. And then as always, tomorrow we will go live with the next Crafty Hour, and it will be Crafty Hour number 62. I can't believe we're on 62 already. So that'll go live tomorrow, and super excited about this one. It's going to be another fabulous kit that I think you guys are absolutely going to love, and there are lots of add-ons, aka coordinating pieces and things that are going to match and go with it. So we've already posted the event. Make sure to click that you're attending the event. It will go live. We will go live tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific, and then it will go, Deanna will do a walkthrough of the kit to show you how awesome it is and everything that's in it. Again, another super affordable one that we did. And it will go live on our website at that time. So I will be on plugging the links in for you. So we ask the easiest thing for you guys to do to register is to follow those links on the website and then get registered that way. All right, so the last couple things I did was I found some little, where's my little micro dots. And I went in with the micro dots. I also went in with some adhesive and I cut some little flowers out because I felt like, again, we needed some clusters and we needed some layers, and we need to stack them. We need to stack and build them. So I kind of went in here. So I'll show you what I did. I went in here and added some flowers on top of the frame. That way it just didn't look like the flame was floating. It kind of brought them in. And then I popped a couple little pansies kind of in the background too. And then I put that itty bitty little baby pearls in the center of those to kind of dress them up also. So that's just a little fuzzy cutting. You can kind of tuck those guys in there, kind of shape them, bend them with your fingers to bring a little life to them. And I feel like it really brought the colors in and kind of added that look that we want and go for when we want to cluster things on there. So those are my cards for Crafty Hour number 60. If you missed Deanna's this morning, make sure to go back to Clipper Street's Facebook page. They are posted over there on the replay, but also remember we do have for our Crafty Hours, we have YouTube channels. So Deanna has a YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel, and we've been uploading those Crafty Hour videos there since they will be deleted in 30 days, and then that way it's easier for you guys to find them. If you're doing on replay, or if we did a fun fold card and you're like, ooh, I need to revisit that and see how you guys did that fun fold, those are on there too. So you can go back and watch any of the past Crafty Hours. All right, so that's what I've got today, everybody. I will get the photos posted up in the Crafty Hour Creations group, so that way you guys have kind of some close-up photos that you can look at as you're adding your flowers and your little sprig of pansies. So have a fabulous night, everybody. Thank you so much for all your love and support and for purchasing the kits and coming and crafting along with us. Have a fabulous night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the live announcement. Bye-bye.